Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Dawnless Days Total War. This is a total conversion mod for Attilla Total War that sets it in the Lord of the Rings franchise, the Third Age, and at the very beginning of the movies, as far as I know. That's sort of the time frame. I've played a tiny bit, just dipped my toes in the water, as they say, just so I have an idea of what's going on with the systems in the game and stuff like that, so I'm not going in completely blind. But I do have to say that if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings and the Total War genre, then I think you probably know exactly what this is, unless you've been living under a rock. And I don't mean that to offend anyone, but what I'm trying to say is this has been covered to high hell and back, right? Well, that's to close the door. And rightfully so, because it is a phenomenal mod. It has been in the making for God knows how long. You can find it on Nexus Mods. That's generally where I prefer to download my mods, but I believe there are a few other places where you can find it as well. And this is the release version called 1.0.0. There will be updates in the future, but for the release version we have the full map of Lord of the Rings and these factions to choose from. Not that many, but consider that whole expansion packs, which are, stuff that you pay for in Attilla Total War, were sold with, like 2 or 3 factions and a couple of, Yeah, well, actually, these are factions. These would be species, right? Kind of. I mean, orcs and Northmen and yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure what to call them, because these are factions down here, but if you go to orcs, you have 2 different orc factions, right? So these aren't exactly species as well, because these and these are human, and so are these. And guess what, so are these, but I suppose classes, I guess, that doesn't really matter at all. Let's pick something and play. Now, one of my favourite factions, in the books, in the movies, and generally even in the Medieval 2 mod, is Isengard. I think Isengard strategically is a fascinating starting location. And I even played a Mountain Blade Mountain Blade Warband mod set in the Third Age. And that mod was freaking phenomenal too. Also, took ages to make, and Isengard was my favourite faction to play there as well. I think it's just so interesting, because you start off as a single city, secluded and sort of hidden away in the mountains, giant walls, nobody quite knows what's going on inside there, and you started to sort of build up your industry from there and expand, whereas everyone else starts off with a fair bit of territory, right? I mean, Erebor being a bit of a oddball there, they don't have much. Gondor has a heck of a time trying to defend its borders. Dale and Edoras, or Rohan, if you will, sorry, Edoras being the capital, the Dale and Rohan have ample territory as well. In fact, Rohan, I believe, is the second most powerful nation at the start of the game, so yeah, it's a lot. But today, we're definitely playing as Isengard. So, let us begin. Now, I have noticed one single solitary bug with the game. And it's not a terrible bug. I'm just not quite sure how to fix it. I'll try and change some things around in the settings. But every time I go into a loading screen, the game alt-tabs me out. Now, I should probably put this as audio. Isengard, Lair of Saruman the White. Once more something something, I didn't get to read it.
The fires of Isengard never rest. A new power is rising here. And once the Urukai are ready, no one shall stand in your way. Until then, you must keep the half-witted Rohirrim busy. The hillmen of Dunland are brutish, but an excellent tool when pointed at the enemy. At any cost, the scouts of Theoden must not discover your plans before they have matured. There will be no dawn for men. The land will be stained with the blood of Rohan, first of all kingdoms to fall under the White Hand. But not the last. Your Urukai will herald a new age, an order of efficiency and progress. An army worthy of not serving, but conquering Mordor.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's not really what I intend to do. I intend to serve Mordor. How do I put this? Loyally up until the end. Although not entirely blindly. If I have to make some tough decisions, so be it. So, here's the thing. I want to read through this first and foremost. Right, I know about that, and now I'm going to turn you off to text only because the custom voice acting is only for the intro. The rest are just generic tutorial messages, which seem to reset for some reason every time I reinstall the Total War game, but never mind. Okay, so Isengard begins the campaign with only its capital region. The Fires of Isengard bonus grants extra building slots and a growth bonus for the city of Isengard. Isengard also has access to a very powerful edict that grants increased growth income from industry and reduces recruitment costs at the cost of food and fertility. While Isengard starts with only one settlement, their goal is to expand as quickly as possible. Any enemy buildings in the captured settlements can be cheaply converted to Isengard's equivalent, allowing them to reap the effects of those buildings quicker. Isengard requires industrialization to reach their pinnacle units of elite Urukai. Supplemental forces of Mordor and Dunelanding, that is difficult to pronounce. I've read that like a billion times, but I've never had to pronounce it out loud, sorry. Will be required to overwhelm the kingdoms of men early on in the campaign. And, our objective is to reach dominance level 10. There is, well, there is not much else to it. I mean, that's just the mission. Just conquer everything, basically. That's the road we're going down. So, first and foremost, I think we need to go down... Let me see. Yeah, I think we need to go down this path first. So, here's the thing. One of my favorite features about this mod is that the Civil War system is completely gone. Obviously, my Urukai will not rebel against Saruman, and there will not be a civil war every 50 turns, and there will not be a forced civil war at the end of turn 100, or anything along those lines. Granted, this is something that Total War as a base game, both Rome and Attila, I believe, have tweaked and changed over the years. On release, this was a lot worse than it is currently, but I do have to say, I am a huge fan of them changing this. So, let's begin with the following. Saruman has a certain amount of influence, right? He can secure loyalty of people. Why? Authority, governance, influence... Yeah, see, when I said previously that I've just dipped my toes slightly into the game, I wanted to see mainly the political stuff and how that's been sort of worked out. Become a trainer, promote, secure loyalty, embezzle funds, assassinate. Promote... Can't promote. But I can secure the loyalty of someone. Thing is, I'm pretty sure they can't rebel anyway, so why would I bother securing their loyalty? I'm going to try and promote these guys to trusted servants, because they are. They are my immediate trusted servants. Huh. Oh, well, okay. Fair enough. So, we now need to take a look at the buildings of Isengard. As you can see, we start off with 12 population, which is quite a lot, meaning we can develop 2 more slots. Actually, we can develop all 3 slots immediately if we so desire. And we do. Now, I looked through some of this stuff, and I know roughly what it does. Now, we're going to need this iron deposit thing, because there's, it's going to take away a little bit of the food from the region, but that's okay. Also, don't quote me on this, but from what I've noticed, let me just double check here. From what I've noticed, I don't believe that Isengard needs fertility, which would make a lot of sense for Isengard, wouldn't it? I have to explain that it's been approximately 6 years, I think, or 5 years or something like that, since I've played Attilla Total War, so excuse me for a second while I get used to everything again, but there are buildings that allow us to make food and money. Case in point, the butchers, right? In the city centre. Fresh meat through the source, though the source is often questionable. I'm sorry, I've been waiting to do this all day since I've started recording, well, since I planned on recording this. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys! Sorry, I absolutely could not resist. Right, so we definitely need meat to be back on the menu. Like, no joke. We seriously need that. Thing is, though, like all of our wealth is going to come from 90. Well, maybe not. I want to say like 90% of it, but maybe more is going to come from industry. The supply station gives us 10% wealth from agricultural buildings. Quick question, how do I know what's an agricultural building? City food production. Is it this? Treated soil, drought market, drought factory. It may be, I don't know, but here's the thing. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to say sod fertility as a concept in its entirety. And instead what we're going to do is we're going to focus everything on industry. Not that'll make acquiring food somewhat problematic. I am well aware, fear not, I am well aware of this fact. That is okay. Why is that okay? Because we intend to conquer a lot of land, and we're going to, put a food building here and there. Anyway, and so fertility hopefully won't matter so much, and we can make up for it with industry. I think. Okay, I think we're ready to end our turn. I'm going to recruit 2 more units of these Mordor rabble. I have some Uruk-hai raiders here, which are not particularly great. This doesn't seem to work currently for some reason. But yeah, they're not particularly great. However, yeah, look at that, very poor armor. They are level 2 light infantry, so they are better than the rabble over here, but not by much. We don't have a great army currently, and if you take a look at the diplomacy, we are one of the weakest factions in the game currently. However, that is about to change. So, first and foremost, I want Mog to govern the Gap of Rohan. Going to be my governor, and then I can issue an edict. Although only through here. Like if I clicked on the other thing, you saw that also is a. Yeah, like a minute ago I couldn't issue this edict. If I go through here, I can't issue the edict either. I think it's special because... Well, just because of Isengard, right? Yeah. Oh well, whatever the case may be, we're going to sacrifice our control for growth, lowered recruitment rate, and faction-wide... Sorry, province-wide wealth from industry. In fact... That also means we should probably wait on the recruitment, because it will save us a tiny bit of money. And we're going to need all the help we can get, because the start can be a bit tricky from what I've seen. Okay, there we go. End turn. Okay, so Mog's office is secured, Lurtz's office is secured, and Ugluk's office is secured. Lovely. I was quite lucky, actually, that we didn't get any trouble securing those offices. So, now I'm going to remain in the city still, because I'm wondering... I can't see... I can see the control number, I can't see what's influencing it. Can I have some help with that game? Game? Apparently not. Okay. Now, it's very important that I don't use anything... This is control and fertility. Yeah, that's okay. It's very important that we keep food in the positive. So, we need the butchers, right? In order to increase our food supplies, we need to get this to level 3 as well. So, yeah, we're getting the butchers, and then we're getting... Orc toolsmith or a builder? What's the difference? This gives more money, reduces recruitment cost. This reduces construction cost, provides less money, but adds a little bit of growth. This actually reduces growth. Not a fan of reducing growth, but I do have plus 20 from the edict, so it shouldn't be a problem here. And then you can see the growth in the settlement right over here. Okay. I like that. This is good. And now we can actually recruit some units. And I think I'm going to go with this. 2 of these Dunlending Tribal Raiders. From the Dunlands, right? So Dunlending, yeah? Correct? I would assume correct. Right. Diplomatically, something I haven't really talked about yet. With Rohan, we have a non-aggression pact. We're not trading with them, and as you can see, our relationship is deteriorating because we have good relations with the Dunlending tribes. Now, as far as I can tell, there is no way for me to make these guys... how do I put this? To annex these guys, right? To confederate them. As far as I can see, there is no way of doing that. Maybe that becomes an event-based thing later? I don't know, but so far that's not a thing. Right, and we do have all four seasons and stuff here as well. Treasury income, etc., etc. Everything is fine. Now, a part of me... Okay, obviously we're going to go with the Fangorn Forest. I need to burn it for our industry, etc., etc. thing is, a part of me really wants to take this army down here and just raid. As you can see, most of the Rohan army is tier 1, apart from their cavalry, which is tier 2, and another 1 tier 3 unit here. And this is Theodred. I don't have an army to fight them, not really, and even if I recruit a bunch more of these terrible troops, I wouldn't be in too much of a better position. However, here's something I can do. I can recruit tribal raiders. I can recruit timber slaves, they're terrible. But I can also recruit the hill wardens. Now, hill wardens are a tier 4 infantry unit. And can't really see what this means. What does this mean? Oh, it just tells you their species, right? Yeah, so they're tribesmen. That's fine, we're going to need tribesmen, definitely. And so I'm thinking we wait one more turn. Oh, unassigned followers. New system, I need to talk about this, but let me just finish my sentence. I think we wait one more turn and then we recruit them. And I am recruiting them for a very specific purpose. Now, this is Mog the Governor, right? He needs, I think, a blacksmith? No, that's for trade, even though it doesn't sound like it. Engineer, yes. Now, as characters level up, as you can see, you can give them followers. It's slightly different. How do I put this? It's a slightly different system to that which we had previously, which was if there is. Oh, this place is crawling with my influence. I can probably use that to my advantage. The system we had previously, I apologize for interrupting my train of thought. Can be annoying to listen to sometimes. What, your train of thought, Juggernaut? Yes. But let me get back on track. So the system we previously had was like a skill tree with different abilities and stuff. Now that seems to be mostly gone. You go into general details, as you can see, and you just assign followers. Traits are something they earn naturally through fighting and through doing different things, managing, construction, etc., etc. So that's how they gain rank. There's their experience, authority, governance, and command. All of that is fine and well. But followers seem to be the one thing that is like, the equivalent of skill points here. Which I like quite a bit. It makes more sense. It's less RPG-ish, more of a different sort of style, I guess, but that is all fine. And here we go. This is what I've been preparing for. We've learned that King Theoden's foolish subjects have dispatched a scouting party towards our borders, no doubt with the intention to gather information of our force build-up. They must suspect something is awry. They do, and that is exactly why I intend on hiring these hill wardens, nuking my income, basically. However, I will then hire these goblin men ruffians and goblin men bows as well. In fact, I can do 2 of each. No, I can do 1 of each. Yeah. And then we will have a little bit more wealth and a little bit more food next turn. And there they are. So, mission issued. We've learned that King Theoden's foolish subjects sent a scouting party, etc., etc. Already read this. Eliminate them down to the last man. Leave no survivors, lest they may foil our plans before they have matured. Now, here's what we need to do. We need to go and attack them, and we need to kill each and every one of them before something untoward happens, like them reporting that Saruman the White has betrayed all of humankind and has joined with Mordor, and oh, by the way, they made a giant F-off army right at your doorstep, and you didn't realize it. Okay, so, with dry weather, everything's fine. I will try and fight like 90% of the battles at night, due to lore reasons mainly. But, I will occasionally throw in some daytime battles just to see the graphics and stuff, because, my god, the game looks gorgeous. So, let me just deploy the army, and then we're going to go through each and every one of the units, see what they're like, and see what they can do. I don't know where the enemy skirmishers are going to be, that's a bit of a problem. I also don't know what this icon above their thing means. But that's okay, we will find out later. I'm going to keep the general on the flank to secure it. So, cinematic mode, in we go. These are our goblin ruffians, I believe, right?
What's it, you?
Yeah. Now, the older audience among you may notice that the... Well, first of all, I love that the borders are the writing from the actual One Ring, right? Genius. Glorious. First and foremost. Second, listen to this.
They will fear us. Don't let up!
You may recognize some of those voice lines. They are indeed from a very old strategy game called Middle-earth, Lord of the Rings, War for Middle-earth, no. Damn it, I need to remember. I played the hell out of it when I was younger. Just give me a second to find out what it's called. There was a sequel as well, there were two of them. Give me just a second. Okay, so I was close enough. It's Battle for Middle-earth, not War for Middle-earth. I knew War sounded wrong. So, Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle-earth 1 and 2, that's where most of the voice lines come from. And...
What's it gonna be?
I cannot describe to you the amount of nostalgia I get slapped in the face with every time I select one of these units, and it's one of the voice lines from the game, which are engraved in my head, because... I don't know how old I was at the time, but when Battle for Middle-earth 1 was released, I played it every day for hours upon hours, right? I would sit at my computer and play that thing in skirmish mode, I'd play the campaign, I'd replay the campaign, and then I think both 1 and 2 had like a conquest mode, right, where they would... You could do like individual battles to conquer various places of Middle-earth, and then once you did that, you sort of moved on and you built your forces up, and it had like multiple layers of strategy to it and everything, and it was such a good game for its time. And I believe there's some sort of remake of it happening, modded remake of it happening, but yeah. At any rate, let's take a look at some more of our men here. These are the Raider Uruk-hai. As you can see, they have none of the stylish armor, I want to say, that you expect to see from them. That's because our Uruk-hai are not ready yet. We haven't forged the armor, we haven't made everything yet. These are just the first prototype batch, shall we say. And given how we're making them, molding them out of mud, well, at least in the movies, in the books not so much, but given how we're sort of moulding them out of those bits and whatever, prototype batch sounds very, very apt for what we have. Now, here are some proper Uruk-hai with proper armor, you know, weapons, everything. They look terrifying, but this is the General's Bodyguard unit. So these are the only ones that are actually ready. And you see the white hand on some of their shields. I would prefer all of the shields to have it, but, you know. Beggars can't be choosers, and we can't be too nitpicky about that, I suppose, but no, seriously, I really prefer that if all of them had it. But they don't. At any rate, I'm going to move up, and I think we're about ready to stop here, because, well, obviously, Rohan has nothing but cavalry, so they can outflank me whenever and however they want.
The enemy is going for our general! Protect him!
The only problem with that is I have superior quality troops and superior quantity as well. So they can outflank me and they can engage in any way they want, but won't do them much good. Now I have these abilities, but I can't actually use them for some reason, which is a teeny tiny bit unfortunate. Let's make sure we use these hill wardens to the best of our ability, because they are extremely important. I think we can pull these guys this way. We've suffered scum casualties on the Uruk-hai Raiders. Again, these are tier 2 very light melee troops. Don't expect miracles from them. They are not the Uruk-hai that we know and love. We don't have access to those yet. But that's okay. Of course, the fact that the enemy has only cavalry and I have almost no cavalry. I mean, I don't really count these skirmishers. They can't do much except annoy the enemy occasionally or distract them at best. That means I can't really chase the enemy down all that much. But we'll see how things advance. So, moving out, I believe this is going to be it for the battle. No, they're still rallying a little bit. Still have this group that kind of rallied. Take a look at some of the melee fighting. And the Rohan troops look incredible as well. Look at that. Yeah, the armor, the horses, the shields, and everything. Visually, I think they've nailed this game. I really do. I appreciate this so much. It's like they're very distinct. You can tell it's Lord of the Rings. They're very, very distinct, but at the same time, they're not cartoonish. You know, like there is a gritty, brutal realism to them as well. And I think the same goes for some of the more monstrous units, if you will. Like, yeah, okay, the not moving eyes and the fixed jaw and everything might not be the most realistic look ever, but at the same time, you know, it gets the job done, I want to say. And I completely distracted myself with that, and I've abandoned my army, effectively speaking. I let the archers get caught out of position and attacked, unfortunately. Well, there's an opportunity to see how effective my arrows are. Not very, clearly, but that's okay. So, there we go. 2,000 of our soldiers against 400 Rohirrim, and we, well, we've traded blow for blow, basically, in terms of lost units, almost. Now, we need to pursue the enemy and leave none alive. That's what the mission said. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And they're still alive. There's more of them. Okay. Well, I want to give our commander here or our general here a commander. Level him up like so. And then attack these guys and night battle, and then we're just going to auto-resolve this because there's 27 of them. Use an aggressive stance. Dead, and then pursue the enemies again. Make sure they are well and truly gone. And then, of course, we have... right. The Fangs of Orthanc, right? Yes, I think that's how it was pronounced. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I read Lord of the Rings, and it's actually been a while since I've watched the movies too. I love that we can't change the emblem. The emblem is fixed. This is the emblem of Isengard. You're not going to get, like, the white hand in 17 different variants. No, this is what you get. Love that. Perfect. It's one of those things that kind of annoyed me in both Rome and Attila Total War, that each army had its own emblem, but the emblems couldn't repeat. So you couldn't have, like, the same emblem on every army. If I want to do it, let me do it, goddammit. What's the point of customization if I can't customize everything to be uniform? Wait, what? It makes sense if you think about it, right? Okay, so, what do we do? I think I want these unyielding banners first and foremost, right? Morale against Wildmen is not very important. Raiding income is okay. Especially because Isengard gets a hefty bonus when it comes to raiding. I don't know. Let's go with unyielding. I think battle fatigue and battle movement speed is going to be important. Especially because we're going to fight a lot of cavalry, and we don't have cavalry of our own. So, yeah. So, the thing is, we still have a non-aggression pact against these guys. However, the Scouts of Rohan are still alive in the corner of the map somewhere. Can I negotiate with them? No. Yeah, I get the feeling that that was supposed to be their defeat, and sort of, you know, that's it. Unfortunately, doesn't seem to be the case. Well, anyways, we're going back to Isengard to replenish. And then let's see what just happened. Right, that's okay. Go back and replenish our troops.
Ready.
Forces are fine, this is fine, everything is fine. Now, for now, our scout is, well, our spy is just a scout. And there is precious little that he can do. But that is okay. And very soon we're going to sicken the king's mind. As you can see, this provides us with 200 food. Nowhere in here does it say that the food goes away once I've conquered Rohan. That's important. Like, 200 food is several settlements worth of food, right? It is a lot. And, yeah, there you go. Sickening of the king's mind. Construction cost lowered for industrial and military buildings, and 200 food. Look at that. Fascinating. Okay, so the question is, are we ready to go to war yet? I don't think so. History of the Ring starts Hunt for the One Ring mission chain. I'm not quite sure what that does. I wish I did. That Wikipedia kind of thing that you open still doesn't work. I would like training fields so that I could upgrade this, as you can see, and that will give me a levying complex, which will then allow me to recruit wargs, half-orc spears, Uruk-hai raiders, and Uruk-hai archers. Still not the industrial superpower that I want, with over here Uruk-hai infantry and pikes, and white hand stormers, berserkers, etc, etc. Uruk-hai crossbowmen over here at tier 3 again. You know, not quite there yet, but it would make my army a lot better. Now I can get rid of all this rabble. So, let's wait one more turn. I get the feeling that there is something scripted happening here. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. Rohan declared war on me. Lovely. Faction destroyed scouts of Rohan. Okay, so if I go over to objectives... I have no active missions. And I wasn't really paying attention at my finances. Did I succeed in the mission? I think I did, right? If not, it may be a bit bugged, unfortunately. However, this does put me in a relatively alright position to go and attack Rohan and start expanding, because they did just declare war on me. Now, I'm not sure if this is entirely the way it's supposed to go, or whether I'm supposed to, after I've defeated these guys, I'm supposed to have a few more turns to prepare. Kind of seems like it, but you know what, that's okay. We'll do one more battle here. Okay. Ready? Now. How exactly do we go about doing this? I think attacking on two fronts would be... Yeah, that would be smart, wouldn't it? Normally, maybe not so much. But these towers are within range of each other, so I'm getting attacked by both of them either way. And if I attack from this direction, I'll still end up being shot by these towers by the time I'm inside the settlement. By the way, can we just appreciate for a quick second? This is a Rohan village. My god, have they done an amazing job. Look at it. Look at it. There's the hall, I suppose, of whatever the ruler of the village is. I don't know the title, but... And then you have the walls around it, and the sort of more important military buildings there, I suppose, and the fortification, and around it, it's a sprawling settlement as well. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous and fantastic, and I love it. So, we're attacking in two directions. We're attacking over here with the main force, and I'm going to send the archers on, sorry, the cavalry on the side just to provide a little bit of support, and these guys will push towards this gate over, well, not gate, but this opening over here. These guys will attack from this direction. Let's just group them up, and never mind. I expected the enemy to assume a more defensive posture. They have not. Instead, they sort of sallied out. I guess they don't want to give up on these houses just yet. That's okay. That's good. You know, good on them. I have a plan to deal with that.
The enemy draws near.
No, the enemy doesn't draw near, don't worry about it. They have mustard archers and yeomen of the mark. Okay, poor melee defense, poor armor, that's what we like to see. Same on these guys, well, very poor on these guys, but regardless. Let's see if I can get within range of the archers, or get my archers within range of the mustard spears over there, and my plan is to gather the cavalry on the right flank and attack their yeomen head on with 2 of my raider cavalry units, if at all possible. Let's see how that plays out. Now they have they've moved out of the way. I don't know if we even managed to get a shot off. Somewhat unfortunate that. But they are falling back into that defensive posture, and I reckon now is about time to begin the proper attack. Everywhere. This is the fight I'm most curious about, because I have no idea how my guys are going to do. Because this is not, like, this is a very light cavalry unit, you know, it's not the best at melee fighting. But apparently it is good enough. Okay, so I'm going to use the momentum I've gained with this attack and try and pin down a few more enemy units and try and get to the next archer unit as well. Sorry, no, you attack them, you attack them, you attack them if you can. No, never mind, but you should be able to pass through behind them and get to the archers. Yes, that is exactly what I wanted, and we should be wiping these archers out any time now. Well, soon-ish. And we can capture the second gate as well. Excellent, excellent, and we are using our momentum push forwards and drive the enemy out. Would you look at that? Now, I need you to attack these mustard archers. Not you, sorry. We need to hold and capture this gate. I want you to capture the gate as well, now that reinforcements have arrived. The battle is turning in our favour. Yes, of course it is, because we have a genius Orc General commanding the whole initiative. So, let's put our archers like so. These guys got a little bit stuck, but that's okay. We can move them up here, and our finest troops are engaging with their Tier 1 medium spearmen, so this should be an easy knockout for the enemy garrison. See, on paper, we weren't doing so swimmingly well, but as you can see, in reality, things are a little bit different. Now, the enemy has managed to gather some of its forces here, and I'm going to need to react to that. But I do believe I will rout the vast majority of them before they have a chance to do significant damage. In fact, run down those cowards still running away. The towers are still fighting us, obviously, and that's going to be a problem for our casualties, because, well, we will take casualties from that. Rather obviously, right? However, it won't be too big of an issue. They don't seem to be hitting all that well. I mean, they're doing all right, but nothing we can't handle. Probably time to start thinking about unit replenishment. So you attack them, and you shoot archers, shoot arrows at the enemy medium axemen, and that should be everything we need. You can take over the last gate. Now, I don't want to use this cavalry unit anymore, but I do want to use this one. As you can see, we are starting to burn down the settlement as we advance. This Total War Attilla mechanic playing phenomenally well with the whole Lord of the Rings theme and the burning of Rohan and the... it's not what it's called in the book. It has like a more official name. It's the Scourge, no, not the Scourge, not the Scouring, not the... It was something like that. It's not the Pillaging either. I'm trying to remember how exactly it was phrased in the book. I can't remember the exact wording, but regardless, that is what happened. What is happening currently, as you can see, we are tearing through the place up. Lovely. All right, and there goes the last of the Rohan defenders. Turns out, without their horses, they are not all that impressive, after all. And we're just going to let our guys wrap that up. And the battle is over. We've lost a mere 280. Well, I can't say orcs, because we have wildlings in our ranks as well, but 280 of our subjects. That's a good way of looking at it. Okay, so we can raise it, we can loot and occupy it, we can occupy it, or we can sack it. There's no reason not to loot and occupy it, right? Well, there is, because the buildings, right? Yeah. Looting it would have destroyed the buildings entirely. Okay. Well, in that case, you must rebuild your city first. I need to repair them first. Okay. Fair enough. Now, there is a equivalent of this as well. Just checking if all of these buildings have a Isengard equivalent to them. Now, these are fields. Ah, right. Treated soil. Yeah, this we don't need. This I'm going to mark for dismantling. Fields is, I mean, it's a source of food, alright, but we have tons of food already from that political decision. And then on top of that, we also don't need the food because we can acquire it via industrial means, like so. So, growing stuff, I mean, we can do it in, like, one region somewhere off in the distance or something like that, but generally speaking, not something we're going to be focusing on. Alright, let's just end the turn here. Obviously, we have to assign commanders as well, or assign followers to Ugluk. Charge bonus for infantry units is not bad. Melee defense for the commanded force is not bad either. He doesn't have wargs. Bodyguard is alright. Let's go with Commander level 2, and then we'll decide after that. He got Night Attacker, right? Night Fighter. Enables night battles at land and at sea. Command +1. He's a fairly decent commander. Level 6 commander, look at that. Increases movement range and commander's aura. Authority is okay. And he doesn't need to be a governor, that's fine. Alright, well, end the turn there, and I'm going to say farewell for this first video. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember to like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed the video. Want to stay tuned with the rest of the series and the rest of the content that I produce here on the channel. Next time, we're going to figure out where the majority of the enemy force is, and they are in Helm's Deep, of course. Where else would they be? Sorry, Hornburg is not Helm's Deep, is it? Yes, it is. It is the same settlement, is it not? Just give me a second. It is. It absolutely is. Helm's Deep is the geographical location, Hornburg is the castle. I knew it was familiar. Just want to make sure that Helm's Deep isn't like further down here and I'm confusing two entirely unrelated, well, mostly unrelated locations. I am not. At any rate, that is it for this video. I will see you all next time. Have fun, take care, and bye-bye.